Hey, this is Chris from the Ascendancy Health and Fitness, and today I'm just going to go through how to create a fitness habit that stays with you for life using music based interval training. So, why me? I'm an ISSA certified personal trainer, and basically, what that means is just I've put the work in. So whenever you're doing anything in your life, learning something new, you just want to make sure the person you're following has some credentials that can come in the form of a certification or just, they put the time in and they've become an expert. And I've certainly done that with my life. Um, I'm also a lightweight body type, so I've had to put the work in to get the muscle gains I wanted. It did not come easy. And so that's made me a great teacher because I've been through a lot of trials and I've had to figure out what works and what doesn't. Um, the work that I'm talking about became a lot easier and time efficient when I discovered interval training style of fitness. You may have heard of high intensity interval training. It's basically that, but I just want to add in that I give the people that follow me the option to start a little easier than jumping straight to high intensity. So you can do something a little bit more mellow and build your way up. And I think that's really critical because a lot of people that have gotten into high intensity interval training or anything intense exercise for that matter, they start off a little too hardcore and they burn themselves out. Don't do that. So I'm going to show you how to do it without burning yourself out. I also have an education in music production, which I basically just mix that with my interval training style of fitness to create a system that is fun and enjoyable to practice, which is huge because anything you do in life, you want to enjoy it. And for me, when it came to fitness, basically just adding in the music element was a huge part of me actually enjoying what I was doing because it was that motivation that would push me through these strength training workouts that quite honestly can be fairly rough. Um, Early energy struggles and caffeine intolerance led me to want to master these natural ways of finding energy and that pre-workout motivation to do your workouts. So that's also a huge part of why, what makes me different, I guess, because a lot of people will just, in the fitness scene, will just guide you towards caffeinated pre workout supplements, and I don't do that because I physically can't. And so I had to find other ways of getting that pre workout motivation. Why strength training? Basically, as you age, the human body will replace muscle with fat if you don't do strength training on a regular basis. So, one of the shocking facts that I found when I was going through my personal training certification was this: it only takes 2 weeks without exercise for your muscles to begin to weaken. So, that's pretty shocking. Just 2 weeks and your muscles will start to degrade basically and you'll become weaker gradually, right? But still that's pretty shocking when you look around at just average people out there. You realize that that's what's happening. You don't see too many fit people because it takes someone who's doing something on a consistent basis, and that's what I teach. So this is why I chose strength training first. Cardio kind of comes second for me. Both are important. I don't want to say cardio is not important. I do enjoy mountain biking, bicycling for cardio, but strength training is critical if you want to avoid looking like either a twig or being obese. Because you just don't want to allow yourself to weaken. So you commit yourself to doing strength training regularly so you don't weaken to the point of looking like a stick person or becoming fat because you're not doing anything. Both of them are not optimal. We all, generally speaking, want a fit, capable life so that we can enjoy our lives. And how far you take it in terms of getting ripped, getting, really strong, that's up to the individual. So why music-based interval training? If you've ever worked out without music, it's awful. It sucks. And it's difficult to push through. And so working out with music motivates you to push through those difficulties in strength training. And they certainly will come up, especially if you're reaching those higher levels of fitness. You need to be able to have that drive to push you through. And for me, that's music. Music has always given me that energy that I wanted. And as I became caffeine intolerant, was not able to consume caffeine like I used to in my 20s, that becomes extremely important. You need to have these things on your side, like music, to empower you and get you energized. Most people work out to generic playlist of music. I used to do this as well. And it's helpful, but it's not efficient nor really in sync with your workout. It's just kind of a wing it attitude, and that gets you just average results. So when I created music for fitness, basically I went a little further by creating an outline for the entire workout. So I literally wrote the music to the workout. So it will program you over time to work out to those cues with no wasted time. So it's an efficiency thing. It gets your workouts to be shorter. It makes them happen on cue. So the searching for a metaphor to describe how music-based interval training works, and if you remember playing musical chairs as a kid at birthday parties, it's kind of like that, except for the music's good and you're getting ripped, right? So for those of you that don't remember musical chairs as a kid, basically it was a game where you went to these birthday parties and the kids would stand around a circle of chairs, and when the music started, you would all walk around the circle of chairs, and when the music stopped, all of a sudden the kids would frantically go to try to grab a seat because there wasn't enough seats for everyone. And so they would take a seat out each time, and you would have to fight for the chairs. So not a perfect metaphor, but it basically describes what I'm doing with my music. When the music's playing, you're working out. When it quiets down, you take a break and you catch your breath. And so it's a nice format to follow, so that you don't have to think about your routine. You can just press play and go to it. So I even took that a little further. I'll add this note in. With my videos that I've produced, the workout videos that I've produced work in the same manner. And so literally all you have to do is press play and follow along. And for instance, you just follow along with the people that are in the video, and when the music beat drops and it's blasting loud, you work out. When it simmers down, you relax, you catch your breath, repeat. Super easy, and that's what I was going for. Okay, so this note's really important, so make a note of this. When you train intensely, you can get a workout done in a shorter amount of time so that you can move on to other things in your life. You can move on with your day. I don't know too many people that like wasting their time just, messing around at the gym. People want to get this stuff done, just like with anything in life. Specifically the things that are tougher to do. And so anyways, this idea of training intensely, this is the higher level stuff. As you get going, as you step your way up the fitness ladder, you begin to train more intensely, and that what allows you to work out in a small time frame as, say, 3 minutes. And I'll explain that a little further as we get going here. So I like to say that low intensity is better than no intensity, because when high intensity interval training first came upon the scene, the fitness scene specifically, it made a lot of people never want to do it again because it burns a lot of calories, sure, but it's utterly exhausting. And so if you're a beginner, if you're just getting started, if you're getting back into fitness, and you had a huge break and you weren't doing it for a while, you don't want to start off with something that's utterly exhausting. You want to do something more gradual. So, for instance, my approach and my music allows you to start where you're at. So, if you're just getting started, for example, you can start with a slower paced song, do a set of squats. Easy. If you're more intermediate and you want to do something a little bit more challenging, you choose a faster song, you do jumping squats. That's going to start to be a little more difficult and you'll get those growing pains. And then if you're a fitness monster and you really want to make those huge muscle gains, you could load up a faster paced song, put on a weight vest, and pump out those same jumping squats or jumping lunges, and you're going to max out. You're going to get really strong. So my point is, you get to choose how intensely you want to train. And why that's important is because you need to start off at a level that is right for you, so that you will continue to do this throughout your life instead of just going to the top step, the top level first, and completely ruining it because you're sore for the whole next week and just devastated by your initial workouts. Well, you're going to quit because that's really tough. And so my approach is gradual, stair step. Make it a habit first, then get those really good results as you get more used to fitness. So this is important. This needs to be said. Why do fitness the natural way? This is what I've come to. This is what my life is built up to, and what I believe is the right way to do this. Some people can take the performance enhancing drugs and they get huge muscles quickly. It's a funny pop culture reference. Like I took this scene from this clip from Rick and Morty just as an example. In that episode, they take the performance enhancing drugs and get ripped and huge, just ridiculously huge, and they go beat up this guy that was messing with them. And so I realized it's in our culture. It was really huge in the 80s and 90s. You saw athletes and professional weightlifters just getting stupid juiced, taking the drugs and getting huge. And it's, honestly speaking, I just want to say this, it's a really desperate attempt to get bigger gains quick. And a lot of people jump to that conclusion, but you don't want to do it because it ruins your health and it cuts your life short. So don't be desperate. Take your time with this. Do it the right way. You can get really good muscle gains in a shorter amount of time, but don't do drugs. Let's not be stupid. So in that same kind of thread, I'm actually glad that I developed a severe caffeine intolerance. When I was relatively young, I was like 25 when I started having troubles with caffeine. But I'm glad that I had those issues because it actually taught me a great lesson. It taught me to get energy the right way through healthy food and proper diet choices. Caffeine is what fuels most pre-workout supplements out there, and I used to use them. And looking back on it now, I just realized that it was a patch or a crutch for having garbage energy and not having a good diet. So that experience led me to finding more natural energy. So why do fitness the natural way? I'll give you a little more details of my background. So I had a lot of caffeine overuse, poor diet, and I'd end up having these blood sugar crashes, and I would be worthless for like a day as I recovered. But just to give you a little visual, like I would black out, I would pass out, I would have these seizure-like convulsions at my worst times, and it was terrifying, and it felt like I was dying at these points because I never knew, like, is my body going to recover from this? Like, what's going on? And so all of that led me to purifying my food choices and slowly weaning off of caffeine for good because it just got to the point where it wasn't working for me anymore. But the longer I lived, the more I realized health and fitness are a product of equilibrium, several good things in your life being in balance. So a good example of this is my 4-element system that I teach regarding health. And so it utilizes the elements, the natural elements, earth, air, fire, and water. And basically just saying that this can teach us a lot about our personal health and simplify this complex maze of health information out there so that you can focus in the moment in your day. Just focus on what's important in the moment. So I'll explain that a little bit better. So for instance, with the earth element, these are metaphors. I'm talking about your nutrition. How good is your nutrition? Literally what you're consuming from the earth. I'm also talking about grounding. I at the moment got my feet on a grounding mat, and that helps with protection from EMFs and just retaining your proper energy. I have grounding sheets and pillowcases on my bed so that I ground overnight, and that helps with better sleep quality. So that's the earth element there. Fire element is all about your exercise routine. So it's referring to movement, that upward energy, exercise. Okay, so whatever you're doing to move. Also, it relates to sun exposure, your circadian rhythm. So when you wake up and you get that first sun exposure and the light comes into your eyes and the light soaks in on your skin, it's basically telling your body, hey, it's time to move and get energized. So with the air elements, it's like an polar opposite to the earth element. So that involves more fasting, not eating, detoxing, and deep breathing. With the water element, what I'm referring to there is your down cycle. So it's the opposite of fire, where fire represents exercise, energy, movement. Water represents your sleep. So how good is the quality of your sleep that will rejuvenate you? And then also literally how good is the quality of your water? At this point, it's very important to make sure that you're getting high quality water, because a lot of the city water sources are unhealthy, and sometimes even the rural ones. So your best bet is natural spring water, but water quality is extremely important. So what I'm alluding to here with these 4 elements is that when you focus on these things throughout the day, just do a check-in, like, hey, how was my nutrition today? Did I get good sleep last night? Have I exercised today? That's often the times when you realize you're having a bad day is because you never really got the exercise in. You feel kind of weird. But you do these little check-ins, and it's a quick little check-in to just get yourself in check with your natural health. Make sure that you're doing the things that are important on a daily basis. So further with this whole the natural way of harnessing energy. I used to be addicted to caffeine for energy, so I know all the caffeine drinkers are thinking, screw that, I'm not giving it up. And I'm just saying you don't have to. I'm just telling my story here. And so what happened with me is I had to quit because every time I had a cup of coffee, it would trigger heart palpitations or low blood sugar or both. And it literally became something that was doing the opposite of what I was intending. I wanted a quick burst of energy, and now it just pretty much destroys my energy every time. So I've had to come off of it. So I want to clarify though, what I am promoting is feeding yourself with all the right elements that empower and energize your body so that you don't need to use something cheap, some cheap energy patch like caffeine, for example, for a pre-workout. You should be able to get up in the morning like I do, and I know this is hard for caffeine drinkers to imagine, but it takes some time. You should be able to get up in the morning, eat a healthy diet, get some good food, and go straight to a workout. And if right now you're thinking that's impossible, well, try my system, because you've got to figure out how it can be possible. But further clarification, all I'm saying here is that when you have the right diet, when you have the right workout routine, I don't need to use caffeine anymore. Every day I wake up and I do my workout routine, and I do it without caffeine, and I know for a lot of people that seems impossible, but you have to experience it. So why now? That's really the big question. Because you go about your life and you come to a point where you realize, I gotta change something, and I gotta change it now. I think the answer to that lies in, what if you don't try what I'm suggesting? What if you just keep doing what you're doing? You're basically just gonna get the same results. You won't get any change because you're doing the same thing over and over again. So in all honesty, as time goes by, health and fitness get progressively more difficult. If you don't start a health and fitness routine, as I'm suggesting now, it gets more difficult because your body needs to be fed the right things for energy, and exercise needs to happen as a daily habit, both for energy and a strong body. So I'll emphasize that daily habit, because that's really what it's all about, is that you need to move your body. We're not trees or humans. We need to move. Our bodies are meant to move daily. So again, just clarifying two main points. If you do nothing for strength training, your muscles will weaken. That's what happens. And if you do nothing to purify your food, water, and lifestyle, the impurities and toxins in your environment will make you fat, weak, and unhealthy. These are just the harsh realities. So let's focus on the solutions, because that's what matters, right? Like, we need to change, and we need to find our way through life and live healthy, fit, capable lives that are enjoyable. I have 2 steps for you that I want you to go through. So those 2 main steps that I want you to do is, I want you to enroll in my free 3-minute workout 90-day reset course. It's an intro course. It'll just teach you the basics of my system, show you how the workouts are done, show you that it's easy and it can be done in 3 to 9 minutes, and with each day, and you're done and you can move on. The second thing I want you to do is, I want you to sign up for a free one-on-one coaching call with me. And so it's a video Zoom coaching call, and this is the quickest way I can get you to reach your goals and get you going in the right direction as soon as possible. The only other option you really have is to, do it on your own, go it on your own. And I've done that with a lot of things in my life, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend it because all that means is it takes longer for you to do something. So if you have the opportunity to work with someone one on one and get right to the source of what the problem is and what you need to do to fix something, you should take that opportunity. And one of the easiest ways you can do that is just work with a coach like myself. Another benefit is it will be me you're talking to in the beginning because I'm just starting my business here. So, do this now because in the future I probably will be hiring someone for that role. But right now, you're going to get me, the guy that created the system. So, book a coaching call with me, and that's how you can get started on this as quickly as possible and achieve your goals.